I'm Jordan Moranis. I am one of the founders of Ellevation. We are a software company exclusively focused on English language learners and the educators that serve them. I want to start with just a couple of grounding points. These may be points that you already know. There are 5 million English language learners in the US. It's the fastest growing subpopulation of students that are in US schools. 2/3 of teachers say that they are underprepared to teach ELs. And the achievement gap has remained unchanged now for 15, 16, 17 years. This is an incredible combination that's contributing to an enormous amount of challenge in US schools. While you may know that, you may not have quite the visibility into the on-the-ground, in-the-school set of challenges faced by educators every day. So let me hit on 3. First, there's an enormous compliance and administrative burden. Teachers, specialists, administrators spend an enormous amount of time on a set of very complex workflows that are required by the government. This may mean setting individualized language goals, sending home letters to parents in 35, 50, 75 different languages, administering a whole other set of standards and assessments, taking away precious time from the work they need to be doing with students. Second, each school district has a slightly different model in the way they go about the education of English learners. They may have specialists or coaches. They have classroom and content teachers responsible for this work. They have whole administrative teams, and there are big barriers to the collaboration among each of those different educators working with that English learner. And then third, which is probably most difficult, is that the teaching of content to 30 students in a classroom is difficult. It's even more difficult when of those 30 students, 10, 12, 16 of them are speaking different languages. This means that teachers need to be teachers of both content and language. They need to make sure that kids speaking Swahili and Hindi and Spanish are learning the water cycle just like the other students there that are native English speakers. And so this combination, very little time because of this huge compliance burden, enormous impediments to the collaboration required to work with students, and then third, the lack of support and PD and expertise for this combination of both content and language mean that the education of English learners remains a huge and growing challenge in US schools. There are solutions. They tend to be incredibly narrow and focused on just one part of either the compliance or the instructional burden. And the question is why? So when I was here a couple of years ago, I asked the question of the audience, who here has heard of Smarter Balance or of PARC? And everyone's hands went up. And then I asked, who's heard of WIDA or CELA or CELT or TELPAS? And I bring that up mostly to just highlight the incredible complexity and nuance in schools and the requirements on educators. There's a whole other set of assessments, a whole other set of standards. Educators need to follow very strict guidelines and complex workflows with meetings and decisions and reclassification. It's really hard and it's really big. And so what we've done is we've built the only integrated software platform for US schools to help address both the compliance and the instructional challenges that make it quite difficult to meet the needs of this growing population of students. We've become the indispensable solution to school districts and educators taking on this challenge. To be more specific, what we do and what Ellevation does is help educators with all things to do with data and reporting and compliance. We help create individualized language plans so that all educators know what students need, where they are, and how to collaborate around this. We've worked with some of the biggest experts and the most important researchers in the field to create an online digital library of the activities and strategies that educators can use in their work with English learners. That means we help them understand both the data, collaborate with each other, and then take on what they do with that data to meet the needs of students. That helps them not only to teach the what, which they're all very good at, but also the why. So I like analogies. In healthcare, I love the example of Flatiron, which is an oncology treatment platform, and it brings together all of the data, all of the reporting, and all of the clinical needs into one. This is a company that is owning a vertical and doing a great job expanding. In human resources, you may know of Namely, we're customers. It's a great company. Similarly, all the performance and all the compliance parts of what goes on in HR. And we're doing that for all things to do with English language learners. We are the one-stop platform for all the needs of educators and school districts. And so over these 5 years, because of this growing population of students, because of the complexity and our knowledge of it, and because we are the only integrated platform, we've grown quickly. We now work with over 550 school districts, over 1 million students served by the educators on our platform, and 39 states, including some of the really big top 10 districts in the country: Miami, Broward, Houston, Hillsborough. We are a SaaS company. We spend an enormous amount of time focused on key metrics, including the renewal and expansion of our district customers. It's led to the opportunity to grow within the districts that we serve by offering new products and continuing to grow organically. We now serve about 18 or 19% of all English language learners in the country. Finally, I would just highlight that we're a company that cares deeply about and thinks it is critical to focus on both impact and financial return in order to build something great. And that's what we've been doing. We think there are a couple things that are required. Time. We've been at this for about 5 years. We feel like we're just getting started. Domain expertise, because of just how challenging and nuanced the field is. Aligned investors. We have some of the great impact investors in the country. We feel very fortunate about our alignment with them. And then finally, a set of customers who are partners, who give us extraordinary feedback, who help us on new product development, who keep us honest and make sure we're always improving so that we can help them meet the needs of this population of students. Thank you.